He looked me in the eye and said, "I'm never going to pay you, and there's nothing you can do about it." My blood boiled, but I was about to take down his entire business, one Google search at a time. If you've ever been cheated, lied to, or underestimated, this story will light a fire in your soul. Tap that like button, subscribe, and follow, and get ready for one of the most satisfying tales of tech-fueled revenge you'll ever hear. My name's Nathan. Back in the early 2000s, I was a freelance front-end web developer and a pretty savvy SEO specialist. I wasn't famous, I wasn't rich, but I had something incredibly rare back then: a secret weapon. A website of mine had been officially recognized and linked to by one of the most trusted websites in the world. That one backlink gave my domain serious power, page rank clout, enough to make or break businesses, literally. And I only used that privilege for clients I believed in. Enter Bob. Bob was slick, ran a travel package business, said all the right things, but from the second we met, my gut whispered, "This guy is going to screw you." But I ignored it, because the job was worth more money than I'd made in months, and I wasn't in a position to say no. Bob needed a complete website overhaul. Front-end, back-end, user interface, booking engine, the works. I told him I usually take 25% upfront. He pushed back, said he'd been burned by another dev before and wasn't going to lose money again. Red flag, blazing red. But I needed this. So I agreed, as long as he paid in full before we handed the site over to his servers. That was the deal. And he agreed.
For the next 30 days, my life became caffeine, code, and chaos. I barely slept. Me and my back-end dev worked day and night, sometimes pushing past sunrise. But what we built was a masterpiece. It was fast, slick, clean, and it worked flawlessly. With a day to spare, we were ready. I sent Bob the preview link on my test server. His response? "Looks great, but I'm worried my PHP version is outdated. I need to test it on my live server." I told him it'd work. He insisted. My gut was screaming now. My dev didn't like it either, but we reluctantly agreed, only because he promised he'd pay the moment it was confirmed working. Bob gave us the server credentials. We uploaded everything, told him it was live. And then, silence. No emails? No calls? I tried logging back in. Access denied. He changed the server password. He locked us out. And the next day, the site went live with our code, our design, our everything. I called, left voicemails, emailed. Nothing. Until one morning, he answered, and I'll never forget what he said. "Listen, I'm never gonna pay you, and there's nothing you can do about it." Then he hung up. My hand was shaking, my chest burned. I sat there in silence, but only for a minute, because then the rage kicked in, and right behind it came the idea. If he thought I was powerless, he had no idea who he was messing with. It was time for revenge. First, I registered a brand new domain. If his website was bobstravel.com, mine was now bobstravelsucks.com. Then, I uploaded an exact replica of the site we built him. Same layout, same packages, only one difference. This one linked back to my high-authority domain. That meant Google saw my version as the more legitimate one. Within a month, if someone searched tropical vacation packages or even just Bob's Travel, my Sucks site ranked higher than his. But I wasn't done. I created a second site, boblastnamesucks.com.
complete with screenshots of our emails, call logs, and a full write-up of how he scammed us. And since Bob had a very unique first and last name, this page instantly climbed above his personal site too. The cherry on top? I enabled comments and started getting emails from other people Bob had scammed. Customers he took thousands from, never booked their vacations, and ghosted them. I added every single one of their stories to both websites. And with each one, I made sure to sprinkle in Bob's full name and company name, SEO Gold. A few months later, I got a cease and desist email. Looked legit at first, but a quick Google search revealed the law firm didn't even exist. I replied with his own words, "I'm not ever taking them down, and there's nothing you can do about it." Weeks went by, then months. Emails kept coming from people Bob had conned. But then, one day, I got a different kind of email. A link to a new website, nathansucks.com. Bob had tried to copy me. I laughed. It wasn't even indexed by Google. Nobody could find it. So I responded, again, with, "There's nothing you can do about it." And I meant it. The cracks began to show. Bob's company came under investigation by the travel agency authorities. Turns out the industry is pretty tightly regulated. And guess what their main evidence was? My site. That's when Bob called, trembling. Please take the sites down. I'll pay you what I owe. Just take them down." I smiled so wide it hurt. I told him, "I'm not ever taking them down, and there's nothing you can do about it." It was poetic. A few months later, his company was blacklisted. His website? Nowhere to be found. My site remained the top result for anything involving his name or brand. Then one day, I got an email from one of his ex-employees. He told me Bob had spent months registering dozens of domains, trying to outrank me, but they never stood a chance. My authority domain was simply too powerful. And here's the kicker. Bob's business had been tied to loans, and when it collapsed, he lost his house. A scammer, who thought he was untouchable, got dismantled by the very thing he underestimated, a dev with a spine and a grudge. It took me just under a year to turn his cash cow into a dead cow. That final call from Bob, that was the real payment. Not in dollars. Desperation. The same voice that once sneered, "You can't touch me," now cracked and pleaded. And knowing he finally understood that some people won't be bought, that was worth more than any check. They say don't get mad, get even. But I say why not both? Some lessons can't be bought. And for Bob, that lesson cost him everything. If this story gave you chills, drop a like, hit subscribe, and follow, and tell us in the comments what would you have done in Nathan's shoes. And remember, mess with the dev, and you might just get debugged right out of business.